Welcome back to New Mexico Truck Channel. I'm Brian.
Wait, what? New Mexico?
No, we're in New Mexico right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to our video going to Overland Expo Mountain West. By the time you watch this, the thing's probably already over, but we're at HQ2, otherwise known as Craig's house. And we are, well, let's just show you the rigs, what we want to show you. So I'm gonna start with what Stellantis has given us this week. 392 Rubicon, final edition. I'm glad we have this because we're going to Colorado and we're going to be playing in the mountains, and this just seems like the right fit, don't you think?
Yeah, and it should get great mileage on the trip, so it should be good.
I don't know about that, but it's injecting personality, and the rattles have gone away this morning, which is good. So, our Ranger, which y'all probably haven't seen yet, but it's built.
Hey, wait. No. The reason we're bringing this because we need somewhere to sleep.
Right, so that's Craig's condo.
Okay, now.
Oh, okay.
Now you can show them.
There it is. There's the Ranger.
Look at
that stripe. That looks amazing. We've got our wheels and tires. We've got our overland bed rack, and we've added, of course, Craig, you got a Raton Pass, right?
You have to.
Otherwise, you're going to be camping.
Yeah, what are we doing? You can't go to Overland Expo without one of those.
Exactly. And of course, we brought our boy Sam. He's our official intern.
What's up?
And he's going to sleep somewhere under here, we think.
Or in the Jeep.
Or under the truck, or on the roof, wherever I fit.
Yeah.
He's young. He can sleep anywhere. Anyways, we're getting into it. Hope you guys enjoy it. We got a lot more coming. Let's get to it.
All right, Brian, well, we're still making good progress. I say good progress. We're still in Texas.
In Amarillo, finally.
But we're at this famous spot you wanted to go to.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Was it like this? We're going through a lot of gas, that's all I'm going to say. All right, status update. We're headed back from Overland Expo Mountain West, and we have landed ourselves in a state park in southern Colorado. We're like minutes from the New Mexico border, and we're at a state park, which is where we're camping tonight. But guys, what's happening? Weather-wise happening?
It's a little windy, 22 mile an hour wind.
Okay. So you look at, I'm sleeping here tonight. I've got a normal tent on a normal truck, but Craig has got one.
But I'm ready.
Okay, all right, that's enough of that. Welcome back to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
And Craig.
And you can see behind us, we're at Raton Pass. We're in the snow chain section, and we're going to work our way up Raton Pass. Right now we're at about 6,700 feet. We're going to get to 7,800 feet, Brian. That's over 1,000 foot grade increase or elevation increase. Max grade is about 6%. So we're really going to tax what we're towing, Brian. I want you to tell us about what we're actually towing and using to tow it.
Okay, so first of all, we're using the TTC Ranger. We call it Snowball. Our graphics package is done. Our prototype pod lights are done. This is a FALKEN Wildpeak AT4W. It's a 32-inch tall by 10.5, and it's on some rock trace wheels, same diameter, 17-inch, but they're wider as well. So effectively, we've geared up a little bit. But luckily, there's a 10R60 transmission in here, and it just doesn't matter. Powertrain-wise, this is not the 2.7. That's not available yet at the time of filming this. 2.3 turbo, 270 horsepower, 310 foot-pounds of torque on 87 octane. We are running 91 at the moment, so that should help offset the elevation change a little bit. We have added a bunch of stuff because this is a trip we're going to in Colorado. We need to sleep in this soon. That's why we have it. Let's talk about payload real quick, Frank. 1572. That's a pretty big number.
That's incredible.
It's an incredible number for a mid-sized truck. But this tent combo is about 200 pounds, give or take. And in the bed, we've got some camping gear, some chairs, that kind of stuff. On the other side of this rack, we have a water container. It's probably about 10 pounds. More importantly, behind that, Craig, we have an Aluma trailer. This is a single axle trailer. It tows beautifully. It itself is about 700 pounds. And then on it, Craig, is our long-term loan Polaris Expedition. This thing is amazing. But it also has a tent on it as well. This on its own weighs about 2,250. Plus a 700-pound trailer, plus another 100 pounds of tent. We're about 3,000 pounds, give or take. So that's what we're towing at elevation. The tow rating for this truck is 7,500 pounds. So we're not outside of its tow rating, we're kind of dead in the middle. So
what we're going to do is we're going to hop in and we're going to actually talk you through the actual hill climb. It is about 85 degrees right now, so that shouldn't be too much of a factor. But this is a pretty good grade over a pretty good distance. We'll keep you posted on how it's doing.
Things to watch for are going to be temperatures.
Yes.
With the powertrain itself, so we'll talk about that.
All right.
right, guys, I'd like to interrupt this episode to talk to you about our sponsor for this episode, Onyx Off-Road. We've just taken a very long drive, Craig, from Fort Worth, Texas, all the way to north of Denver, Colorado, to Loveland. And we've found some trails along the way using Onyx, and it's kept us off privately owned land, which is a big deal. And we can zoom out and see where we've gone all the way from up here north of Denver. I mean, it's just been such a long drive. And around here, we were looking at some different things, trying to do some off-roading, and it kept us out of trouble and trespassing.
And we needed that because we thought we found a spot, and then we checked Onyx, and we're like, oh, we had that wrong. And so that was very helpful. Also helped us find camping spots, Brian. We wanted to make sure we weren't camping somewhere where we were gonna get run off in the middle of the night. We didn't want to deal with that.
Exactly. So thank you, Onyx, for keeping us out of jail. And if you'd like to get it set up for yourself, use the discount code TTC to save some money. Now, back to the episode. All right, guys, so we're in the cab. I want to talk about some of the tow haul stuff that we have. Ford has a really cool system. Craig, if you want to pull the camera, I'll show over here real quick. You can go into trailer towing settings, and you can set up configurations for what you're towing. We've actually got this to our default trailer is installed, and we can add all kinds of things to it. You can do trailer trips, you can adjust the blind spot monitoring for the length of the trailer. We've had it 25 feet, so our blind spot monitoring still works. And then also your sway control and stability control is calibrated based on the weight that you're towing and what the trailer is. I love that. That's a really good system.
All right, Brian, we are starting our tow haul test. And like you just mentioned, we're in tow haul mode. We got our trailer settings all right.
I can feel the weight back there for sure.
I'll keep elevation ready for us.
Okay.
We're currently at 6,800 feet.
Okay.
And I say that, yeah, about 6,800, right at 6,800.
Okay.
And we'll be climbing.
So my goal on this, Craig, is not to be a hero, but to set the cruise at the speed limit and just see how it does on its own.
Okay.
So we're merging in now. It's down to one lane because of construction. Up to 48 miles an hour now. All right, so we're averaging 3.8 miles per gallon. I'm gonna go into our vehicle gauges so we can get some info here. Boost, it shows us, it doesn't give us a number of the readout actually, but it gives us a range of 0 to 100 psi oil pressure, and then just hot and cold. But we have transmission, oil temp, and coolant temp on here. So right now we are dead middle on everything. All right, so we are behind the truck on this pass, Craig. We are not able to lock the cruise yet, but we're at 51 miles an hour right now.
Okay.
All temps are good. What's our elevation?
Elevation, we're now up to 7,000 feet, so we've already gained 200 feet.
Okay. So let's talk about a little bit while we're just kind of letting this happen.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a pretty steep climb right here. We've driven this for 9 hours today so far. We started out in Fort Worth, Texas. Now we're in northwest New Mexico. We're headed to north of Denver tonight. This is a good time to film a test. We've been towing at 80 miles an hour all day today because the speed limit's high in Texas. In 103-degree weather, what have we run into?
We've run into a couple things. One, we've run into really poor fuel mileage because of the heat, the cell and weight behind us. Not so much the weight, the cell too. It's within tow rating.
You mean sail, like a sailboat?
Like the wind,
right.
Yeah, we're having some wind issues. And then oil temp has gotten high on the thing, but well within range.
Yeah.
So we haven't come close to the outer range, but it's definitely crept. And unfortunately, we don't have a number.
I wish we did.
Wish we had a number, but we don't.
Number. I wish they did. So what I can say is that I was hoping to get 11 miles a gallon on this trip.
Mm-hmm.
And we were dealing with elevation climb and the sail. What have we been averaging?
We've been averaging about 8.99 miles per gallon. We'll just call it 9.
I want to talk about that a little bit and why.
Yeah.
So Ford has a really good tow haul mode. I like that. It's aggressive enough. It engine brakes enough. And we're not really testing that because we're not doing the downhill stuff right now. But what it has done is it has stayed in mostly 8th gear, and the boost has been almost 20 psi on level ground. It is just sitting in boost, probably closer to 15 to 20. It's in that range somewhere, depending on what we're doing, and it just struggle busts.
Yeah.
So that's not right. It's not struggle busting. It actually feels incredibly calm, incredibly refined, and you don't even realize how high the RPMs are. But it's 3,000 RPM. And it's in boost with a bunch of heat. And so what we've seen is that oil temp is just creeping up when that happens.
Right, absolutely. No, it's been fine. It has not skipped a beat as far as shifting, no weird shifts.
Right.
None of that. It's just been taxed. It's been taxed a lot today.
Yeah.
And the payoff has been oil temps rising and fuel mileage dropping.
Yeah, that's
but nothing out of range. We did slow down a little bit to cool off those oil temps, and they came right back down. Right. And that was during the part of the day when it was 105 degrees. And it was just really hot. So
right now we're in 4th gear at 45 miles an hour. I've noticed, Craig, that the tow haul mode really keeps us in the meat of the power band.
It does. It's exactly what it does. So yeah, right around 2,600, 2,800 RPM, right where all the peaks at.
And because right now we've slowed down, so now we're in 6th gear, 46 miles an hour. It's not shifting up because it wants to stay right there.
Right. And so the outside temp right now is 85 degrees.
Yeah, not bad.
We're at 7,300 feet now, so we've definitely gained a little bit more. We're not at the thick of the pass, but we've definitely got some good grade. We saw 3 degrees there just a minute ago on our grade.
Okay, let's talk about how it tows though, because this is more than just a numbers game.
Absolutely.
I've towed this trailer many times with many vehicles. Now, I've not towed it with this particular side-by-side, but I've towed other side-by-sides and things like that. When it's empty, you really don't know it's there.
Right.
It's under braking, you do a little bit, but under acceleration, it's like, what trailer? Doesn't care. And just for reference, we're averaging about 17 miles a gallon at 75 miles an hour in Texas with this trailer empty.
Right.
Which I think is very respectable.
Very respectable, yeah.
What we're getting with it loaded, and we've had an argument, in fact, if y'all are engineers and you want to chime in, what is hurting us today more? Is it the weight of the side-by-side, or is it the sail part, the wind restriction, the aero of that? We are climbing, that's part of it, but I really do feel like that tent on top is hurting us a bunch.
Definitely, and we argued about that. Obviously, if we were on a flat grade, it seemed like that would be more of an issue once you got going and got to the speed.
Right.
Which makes sense, but...
All right, so we're, again, 46 miles an hour. I've got a foot is down. And we're trying to climb, we're 52.
Is it all the way down?
All the way down.
All the way down, okay.
So it's holding 4th gear.
But it's gaining speed.
Oh yeah.
It's climbing, 57, 58. Okay, so it's still gaining speed on a 3-degree grade.
Okay, I'm gonna lock the cruise now. Now we're clear. Cruise is locked at 60 miles an hour.
Okay.
And it is holding 5th gear at 4,000 RPM.
Let me get a little video of this. So yeah, we're still looking really good here. Pretty good. The temp has not climbed.
Nope.
Although it did just there as soon as I said it.
You saw it tick?
So it ticked up just a tad.
So if you look right here, we're usually, when we don't have a load in this thing, we're at the half mark on normal driving in Texas.
Right.
Today it got as high as more, what did Sam say?
A pinky nail away.
Pinky nail away from that red line.
Yeah.
But that was at a higher than speed than we would normally do, I guess, is the answer for that. All right, we're starting to crest now a little bit. We're 60 miles an hour. Okay, 7th gear now. So it's grabbed 7th gear, but it's keeping RPMs above 2,000. So you got to keep in mind, this is a 10-speed, Craig, and it could just put it right now. It could be at 1,100 RPM if it wanted to.
And we're now up to 7,800 feet. This is about the max we'll get. We will get maybe a little bit more here in a second, but that's it. Actually, that might be it.
I think
that's it. So that's the peak. So what we'll do is we'll find our first turn off, and then we'll check the mileage for it.
Okay, so now we're going downhill, Craig. I've got the cruise set at 60, and we are in 6th gear, and we are creeping up. Well, it's accelerating. We're still going up. We're going up 68 miles an hour. Right now, applying brake. So the engine braking was not slowing us down on that.
Well, and because this doesn't have auto braking with the cruise control, you got to remember that it does not touch the brakes. It only changes the transmission gear.
Well, that's what's frustrating in tow haul. I feel like it should do that, and it's not. So, okay, we're back on level ground. Let's go back to the fuel gauge. And fuel economy, going up that hill, 9.7.
Wow.
That's not bad. It tells me, Craig, is that aero is a bigger deal than weight in our test today.
Absolutely. And this, okay, go ahead.
Can I explain why?
Yeah.
Because we just did a steeper climb than we have all day, but at a lower speed.
The speed is a huge factor.
We did not crack 60 miles an hour, whereas at 75, it's just that sustained high speed. That thing's a brick back there. That's what it is. So if you're an engineer...
But there's also more load at 75 miles per hour when you're towing 3,500 pounds. I don't know.
No,
Let us know.
I agree.
Let us know. That's, we're not sure.
But in this small sample size, we got more than a mile per gallon higher by just climbing at a steep grade at a low speed.
Fair enough. And this also tells me a few other things. One, Ranger Hill in Texas, what we're used to, ain't scared.
If you've run there, you know what we're talking about.
Raton Pass in New Mexico, ain't scared. Like,
no big deal.
It's overhyped, it's over talked about.
Yep.
Look, in the 40s, when you had a vehicle that made 100 horsepower and it weighed more than this, it was a problem. That's not a problem anymore. We're in a modern vehicle with good gearing, good 10-speed transmission.
Turbocharging.
Maybe an old Tacoma would have struggled.
And on that bombshell, thank you for watching. I think one thing I need to do, point out, speaking of Tacoma, the brakes on this are not as big as our old Tacoma, but it has been problem-free today. We've had a few debatable stops.
Fair enough.
Thanks for watching.